I think the mid-cap IT clearly is doing far better, Rima, that is visible. But you know what, I'm going to focus on Infosys in particular because that's clearly the bellwether stock. And let me just go to the big wall to just go through the numbers because I'm taking into account 20 years of data. This is not the first time Infosys stock has fallen 40%. In fact, right when I started my career in the month that I joined CNBC TV 18, over the next 3 months, this is a stock which fell 40%. This is the period I'm talking about. There have been 5 cases when the stock has fallen this much in last 20 years. This is January to April 2003. The stock fell 40% from the peak. Let's go back to the first plate, please. The stock fell about 40% from the peak to the bottom. And the reason at that time, of course, was the poor guidance. The first time actually Infosys came out with poor guidance was in 2003. And a shocker of a number, there was bloodbath in the mid-cap IT space. But look at what happened immediately after that. Returns over the next 1 year, 100%. Then let's move on to the next plate. Now, this is, of course, the period in which the entire market fell. This was a time of global financial crisis, the equity markets globally going through a bear market. Stock from 2007 to 9 fell 54% from peak to bottom. As I said, it was in line with the global financial crisis, and Nifty itself fell 58%. But again, returns over the next 1 year, look at that, 100%. When it started to move up. The third instance was December 2010 to September 2011. This was pretty unique because the stock fell 36% from peak to bottom. There was general slowdown in IT, but there were also the beginning of leadership issues in IT because both Murthy and Nandan had moved on, and after that Chris, Shibulal and others came in, and there were some issues in that period. And look at what happened actually after that. The returns over next 1 year were actually zero. So it fell 36% over a 1.5 year period, and then returned nothing over the next 1 year, which was quite interesting. Then we had the fourth instance, which was of course, September 2019 to March 2020, we all remember that the stock fell 30% from peak to bottom. There were two concerns. There was a whistleblower issue, which led to a big fall. And of course, there was COVID. But returns over next 1 year were 116%. And we all know it. This actually was the start of the great Indian bull market in the IT space. Now, what do we have? In the last 1.5 year, from January 2022 to now, the stock's fallen about 38% from peak to bottom. Again, the issues are US slowdown and the valuation compression, because before the start of this fall, Infosys had gone to 31 times 1 year price to forward. Everyone said 30 times is new normal. We all knew that wasn't the case. But then bull market, everything is justified. Returns over the next 1 year, we don't know the answer to that. But the next plate perhaps has some kind of answers in terms of what we can expect. Look at where the stock bottoms out and how much it rallies after that. In 2003, when it fell 40%, the stock bottomed out at 13 times 1 year forward, it gave you 100%. In 2009, it bottomed out at 12 times, it gave you 100%. In 2011, when it bottomed out 17 times, it stayed flat for zero, so it had it for a year, so it had a time correction. In 2020, again, when it bottomed out at 13x, it again gave you a 1 year return of about 116%. This year, what's happened is it's fallen 38%, but right now it's PE, and we don't know if it's bottom yet, by the way. It's 17 times, so that's why the question mark in terms of returns over the next 1 year. I am giving you two scenarios. Scenario one is the stock bottoms out at historical PE of 13 times. In that case, it bottoms out at somewhere around 1,000. Now, I'm not saying it goes to 1,000, but that's one scenario. In that case, there's a good chance of it doubling. Other is it has a time correction. It bottoms out here 17 times and maybe has some time consolidation and some time correction. Rahul, your thoughts on